Arthur Hayes, one of the longest and most unique traders in crypto, shared his views on the economy and the upcoming Ethereum merge as well. There have been many people, popular crypto traders out there, such as Su Zhu, the head of Three Arrow Capitals. They have come and they have gone. But Arthur Hayes has been able to stay relevant after so long. Unlike many other crypto traders in the world, he does so with a macro perspective and fundamentals, such as supply and demand, money flow, and narratives. He believes that Ethereum moving from proof of work to proof of stake is going to be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. This kind of bullish setup at a time of macro uncertainty makes him very excited. From his perspective, he can be wrong about the Federal Reserve, he can be wrong about macro, but he can still make money on Ethereum in the long run as the flow of money in Ethereum would start to change. This is the first of its kind, so the market does not know how to price this in. So from his perspective, he thinks that the market movements could flow very similarly to how the first few Bitcoin halvings have happened before anyone could price anything in. Here's a clip.
Can you give us, like, why are you so hyper-focused on Ether right now?
So I think, I obviously made this call about the Fed pivoting, and maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. And I've, recent essay that I posted, I've cobbled together this liquidity index and shown how it's very well fit in terms of Bitcoin goes, how the dollar liquidity goes. It's very, very difficult to forecast the politics behind what the central bank is going to do in a short period of time. I mean, I have a very strong view about what they're going to do over the next 5 to 10 years, inflation, default by any other mean called default, but that doesn't help you today. However, this ETH thing is interesting. We have the number 2 currency that's going from proof of work to proof of stake. Now, whether or not that's a good thing is irrelevant. But the structural fact is there's less issuance of it. And it's the only currency that's of this size that's doing this switch. Whether or not ETH processes more TPS than the other competitor, here's a emission schedule and an inflation schedule and a value. We know what it's going to be afterwards. We know it's almost impossible for you to pre-trade this situation. The flows are just going to be the flows, similar to the Bitcoin halving. We know how Bitcoin halvings have panned out over time. So I love this trade because I can be wrong on the Fed and still make money, in my opinion, on Ethereum, because the structural flows are dramatically changing in such a way that it gives the price enough upside to overcome possibly a negative macro environment. And that's the only trade that I see right now with that sort of setup, and it's a one-time thing. And, assuming that it actually happens, and was it September 13th or 15th, whenever the date is, and it's successful, then the flows start. It still has the most TVL. It still has the most activity. There are still people using these applications. They're going to be using these applications today, and they're going to be using these applications in October after the merge. And so we can sort of come to an idea of like what that's going to look like. That's why I love this trade, because I can be wrong on everything else and still be right.
So Arthur Hayes may not be a believer of technical analysis, and he doesn't really use technical analysis that much. But personally, I like to use technical analysis. It has helped me become profitable, and I want to use it. And so I will continue to use it as I trade. So let's take a look at the technical analysis, a very brief one. We can see these are my major lines of resistance. So this red line over here is from the volume profile. And so I expect if there is a sell the news event, number one, based on the technical charts, we believe it can hit to the volume profile, stay here for a while before it moves up. But if it's a very severe sell the news and the 1.5k region gets broken, I expect it to move all the way back down here. Why? Because this area has no volume at all. So 2 areas where I am going to be setting my buy orders. Number 1, here at the 1.5k region. Number 2 would be around here at the 1.2k region. This also coincides with the Fibonacci at the 0.618 level. So this is telling me that there would be a good chance that if the sell the news happens, boom, we hit here. But once again, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. So I do not know, will this be the exception from buy the rumor, sell the news? But in any case, I am also loaded up on Ethereum. Looking forward as well, we do see a nice trend line forming. So keeping all this in mind, we shall see how the Ethereum merge starts to play out and trade accordingly. Setting well predefined stop loss and take profits beforehand will be vital for this trade, as prices could move in one direction very hard and very fast. Of course, if you believe in the very long-term future of Ethereum, you can get it right now at a 1% discount if I'm not wrong. Just under 1% discount if you were to buy the Ethereum December futures. Futures are sold at a discount, and as time goes on, prices would eventually match. Buying further out futures is one way to get a very slight discount on price movements in the future.